The story behind the Statue of Liberty. In 1865, Frenchman Eduard De Laboulaye proposed the idea of presenting a monumental gift from the people of France to the people of the United States. He was an ardent supporter of America and wished to commemorate the centennial of the Declaration of Independence. He also wanted to the close relationship between France and America. He was moved as recently, slavery had been abolished in the U.S., which advanced America's ideals of liberty and freedom. In attendance for Laboulaye's proclamation was sculptor Frederic Auguste Bartholdi. He was of like mind with Laboulaye's cause, and soon began conceptualizing the colossal structure that would soon be known as Liberty enlightening the world. His design encompassed much symbolism, her crown representing light with its spikes evoking sun rays extending out to the world. The tablet, inscribed with July 4, 1776 in Roman numerals, noting American independence, to symbolize the end of slavery, he even placed a broken shackle and chains at the statue's foot. Lady Liberty's history had bringing people together and fundraising integrated in it. It began with exertions to finance this unparalleled undertaking. France was responsible for creating the statue and assembling it in the United States, while the American people were responsible to fund and build the pedestal. To raise funds in France, public fees, various forms of entertainment, and a lottery were used. In order to finance the pedestal, benefit theatrical events, art exhibitions, auctions, and prize fights were held by USA. The famous sonnet "The New Colossus" was written by poet Emma Lazarus in 1883 for an art and literary auction. Despite these efforts, fundraising for the pedestal went slowly. In 1885, Joseph Pulitzer placed an ad in his paper The New York World inviting readers to donate to the cause to spark public action. In exchange, Pulitzer printed each donor's name in the newspaper. The public rose to the challenge, with 120,000 people donating over $100,000 and securing the remaining funds needed for the statue's pedestal. Meanwhile in France, Bartholdi required the help of an engineer to address structural issues that were associated with designing such a colossal copper sculpture. Alexandre Gustav Eiffel, just erstwhile to creating his famed tower, was engaged to design the massive iron pylon and secondary skeletal framework which allows its copper skin to move independently yet stand upright. In France in July 1884, the construction was completed. The massive sculpture stood tall above the rooftops of Paris in anticipation of her voyage across the sea. During the same year back in America, architect Richard Morris Hunt was selected to design the statue's granite pedestal, and construction got underway. For its transatlantic voyage aboard the frigate Air, the statue was reduced to 350 individual pieces and packed in 214 crates. The ship arrived in New York Harbour on June 17, 1885. While awaiting construction of its pedestal, it persisted in pieces on what was then called Bedloe's Island. In April 1886 the pedestal was completed, and finally, on October 28, 1886, President Grover Cleveland oversaw the dedication of the Statue of Liberty in front of thousands of spectators. The story of the Statue of Liberty and her island is that of change. For centuries the island was a major source of food for the Lenape native people and later Dutch settlers. U.S. Army deemed the island a military post, in 1807, constructing an 11-point fort to protect New York Harbor. It was later renamed Fort Wood, and the structure now serves as the base for the statue's pedestal. The meaning and relevance of the statue have evolved with time, as well. Perhaps most notable is the association with welcoming huddled masses. In 1903, a plaque bearing the new Colossus was placed in the pedestal. With that, Lady Liberty's significance grew as an inspiration to immigrants who sailed past her on their way to